Good evening, Ohio State fans, college fans around the country. Welcome into another cast here of Ohio State Postgame. I'm Buckeye Bob, and we appreciate you in tonight. Wow, quite a show put on by Ohio State tonight, offensively. We're going to cover a lot. Obviously, your comments, questions are certainly welcome as well. So, Ohio State finishes out the non-conference schedule tonight against Toledo. They haven't lost to an in-state foe in the state of Ohio for almost 100 years, sometime in the 1900s, the early 1900s, and it was Oberlin College who actually beat Ohio State. That was the last time Ohio State lost to an in-state foe. So Ohio State comes in ranked number 3 in the country, and they obviously flexed a little bit tonight. We know that the offense is very dynamic. It can be very dynamic with C.J. Stroud at quarterback and with the offensive weapons that they have. So they really, really got after it tonight offensively, and we're going to cover it all. We'll get to your comments as we move along, and we'll also have a segment once we're done here called Highs and Lows, and you guys can also put in what maybe you thought some of your highs and lows were. So there's a lot to cover tonight, so I'm just going to get right into it here. Ohio State receives the kickoff. Toledo wins the toss and defers and elects to kick off to Ohio State. So, again, you're coming in against a foe from the MAC who most likely is overmatched against Ohio State. But credit to Toledo, they are the pick to win the MAC this year. And they have some athletes. And their quarterback showed that they have some athletes. So Ohio State gets the kickoff, and it didn't take long. 3 minutes, 45 seconds. They go 8 plays, 82 yards. Couple big plays by Stover and Harrison. But I love the incorporation of Cade Stover in this offense right now at tight end. If you guys remember, they made a great little toss, the fake toss play that they ran against Arkansas State. They showed it again tonight, and with the same exact result. Stover with a nice play down the sideline, gets them right out where they need to be at. And Travion Henderson goes in from 7 yards out for a touchdown. And it's a quick 7-0 for Ohio State. And what have I always said is when you score, are you able to get the defense on the field and force a 3-and-out? Okay. Well, Toledo takes over, and before you know it, a great play by their quarterback, Daquan Finn. He hits Tom Zeros for a 50-yard touchdown pass. And Toledo's like, hey, it's game on here. You know, we're don't feel sorry for us. We're coming here to play. And that's exactly what they did. And went 4 plays in 46 seconds. And they had a great play on the backside. They ran a nice backside post receiver. And Ohio State got some pressure on Finn. And we're gonna discuss that a little bit later on too. And he makes a great downfield pass on the backside post to a receiver. Cam Brown just got out leverage there on the post, and it was a great play by them. And it's 7-7 like that. Well, how does Ohio State respond? You want to see them go 3-and-out, or can they respond back? They did a tremendous job all night responding anytime Toledo even showed that they would force a little bit. So they take over. They go 75 yards. And, again, Stover down the middle. Again, I love the tight end getting incorporated in this offense. I mean, it just shows the multitude of weapons that Ohio State has. Hit Stover down the middle on a great seam route. And then they hit Harrison on a great play in the left corner of the end zone, which would have been good in the NFL. Not only does he get 1 foot down, he drags the other one. And what can you say about Marvin Harrison right now, guys? I mean, just tremendous, tremendous athlete. And he's really, really starting to get comfortable with C.J. Stroud. So, again, a quick strike, 6 plays, 75 yards, 2.5 minutes is 14-7 Ohio State. Now, let's see what the defense can do for Ohio State. What do? They go out and force a 3 and out, exactly what you want. Take right back over after a punt, and before you know it, it's 21-7. Another great play, another great reception by Harrison. C.J. Stroud may have got a little lucky on the play. Just over the outstretched arms of a safety, almost a pick. But guess what? Drops it right over him, right to Harrison. Harrison takes it down the sideline, gets tackled, and it gets the 3rd down. They had Stover wide open in the end zone. I felt kind of sick for Stover. The way he's been playing and blocking offensively, he deserved that touchdown. That's definitely one that 9 times out of 10, C.J. Stroud is going to make that play. It was a great play fake. Stroud right to the corner of the pylon. He just overshoots him. But it doesn't faze Ohio State whatsoever. Again, a litany of athletes. They run the jet sweep with Egbuka. Egbuka looks like he's stopped. He's able to fight off a couple tackles, hits the pylon with the ball. It's 21-7. So, again, what does Ohio State do? Forces another 3 and out. They go right back. And I can't be more happy for this individual right now. They took over on their own 29-yard line, and they go 7 plays in 3 minutes. And Julian Fleming, finally, Julian Fleming gets a touchdown pass. It's a great play by Stroud. He made some pinpoint passes tonight that were just absolutely fantastic. He put the ball right on the sideline where only Julian could get it, and Julian makes a great play, gets 1 foot down, looked like a possible bobble at first, was not. And Julian Fleming, can't be prouder than him getting a touchdown tonight. So Toledo then comes right back. Hey, give them credit. They go 11 plays, 75 yards. And Darquan Finn, he goes on a quarterback draw and goes 23 yards for a touchdown. They had him hemmed up a little bit. But again, sometimes, as I've always said, you tip your cap when one of their guys makes a great play. And that's exactly what he did. Makes it a great play and takes it in from 23 yards out, which extended into the second quarter, that offensive series. And it's actually the first quarter ended at 28-7, and that touchdown was shortly into the second quarter to make it 28-14. Crazy first quarter stats. Ohio State went with 287 yards of total offense in 1 quarter. So it doesn't take much for you as mathematicians out there, any type of adding up. 287 yards in the first quarter, you're obviously on a 1,200-yard pace for 4 quarters, okay? So fantastic job right there after the first quarter. So we move into the second quarter. Again, Ohio State takes over after the touchdown by Toledo. It doesn't face Ohio State one bit. Again, making plays all over the place. They go 7 plays, 75 yards. And again, it's Harrison for a touchdown, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, and it's 35-14, just like that. So any type of threat that Toledo might have posed whatsoever, it just was not going to be their night on the defensive side of the ball. And Ohio State, with the weapons that they have, they just show that we're unfazed. We know what we can do. We've got a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback back there. We've got all kinds of weapons across the field. And again, it was great to see Smith and Jigba made a catch tonight. But again, did they need him? Didn't really need him tonight. It was really time for a lot of other guys to shine, and that's exactly what they did. So they go 7 plays, like I said, 75 yards, 325. Harrison with his second touchdown in the game goes to 35-14. They force another punt, and Ohio State takes over on their 11-yard line. And what do? Unfazed once again, 9 plays, 89 yards, and there he is again. Julian Fleming with his second touchdown on the game. Again, can't be more ecstatic and happy for a Pennsylvania kid that's been snake bit with injuries all year. And Can't be more happy for him. He gets his second touchdown. 9 plays, 89 yards. Basically takes it into the half then at that point. So halftime stats for Ohio State. And again, I can't remember how many halftime stats like this, but C.J. Stroud, 297 passing, 144 yards rushing, 441 total yards at the half. Again, on pace for over 800 yards of offense, which, again, you can't ever argue with that. So, again, for your math guys out there, we're on pace for over 800 yards now at this point. Fantastic job across the board by the offense. So that ends the first half, as I said, 42-14. Remember, guys, just a little plug here. My show, it is in conjunction with Mark Rogers, the voice of college football. So when you can, please like, share, and subscribe, both my channel here as well. When I post it, please like, share, and subscribe it. You always get a notification when I'm going live, when the show will be posting. But you can also go to MarkRogersTV. You can sign up at patreon.com. Obviously, anytime you want, donations are welcome as well. So we appreciate it at any time. So, again, Mark Rogers TV, search Mark Rogers TV. Like, share, subscribe here on my channel as well. And we appreciate all your comments and anytime you guys want to add anything to the show. So we go into the second half. Toledo's going to get the ball. And, we talked about this last week. I had Brandon Moses as one of my guests on the show. And one of the things that he wanted to see so far is turnovers. And so Toledo gets the opening kickoff to start the second half. And what do we finally get? Ohio State forces their first turnover of the year. It's an interception. Ronnie Hickman with the pick. And again, guys, one of the things you want to see as we keep progressing down this season is Jim Knowles' defense. He's always hiding. He's always just covering up things. What are you in? Are you in cover 2? You're in cover 3? Are you in man? And you can see Ronnie Hickman baited that throw right there. He absolutely baited that throw by Finn. It looked like the post was open. Hickman was sagging back, and broke just as he knew that Finn was going to throw. Great interception by him. And Ohio State finally gets their first turnover of the game and of the year. So, again, we want to see progression from the defense, and that's what we saw finally with their first turnover of the year. So it doesn't take Ohio State long. And again, what's a good team? What's a good team that you want to see them do after a turnover? You cash it in. That's exactly what they did. 4 plays, 48 yards, and Dallin Hayden comes in. He goes in for the Mayan Williams, breaks off a 45-yard run, and then Mitch Rossi. Again, Mitch Rossi, one of the unsung people that we don't talk about. He's that fullback / tight end hybrid type of guy. All right. The unsung heroes. He's the lead block on a lot of runs. He's out there blocking on the outside. And guess what? They threw him a bone, which you should in a game like this. C.J. Stroud turns around on a handoff. He powers in from 1 yard out. It's 49-14. And, for the most part, Ohio State's starting to coast now. So Toledo gets the kickoff. What do? They go 6 plays. And, oh, man, I tell you what. Denzel Burke, once again, we talked about him being a little bit snake bit. Had some issues in the first 2 games, especially last week against Arkansas State. 2 pass interference penalties. Just didn't have things going. So what happens? Darquan Finn gets pressured, rolls all the way out to his left, throws a jump ball up, and somehow on Denzel Burke, Clucky, the receiver for Toledo, makes a catch right in front of him, and Denzel Burke misses the tackle, and then he spins off and just goes the last 4 yards in for a touchdown. Just a bad break, really. When things aren't going your way, those are the types of plays that happen to you. It's just one of them things. And I hope that Burke just kind of shakes it off. They'll keep pumping him up. He did make some great plays earlier on in the game. Let's face it, he made some great plays earlier on in the game, some pass breakups, some pass deflections. So it looked like he was finally breaking out of that shell and that little funk that he had been in. And then you have that happen. And you sit there and you just scratch your head and you feel for the kid. So he'll be fine. As we said, he will be fine. So Toledo scores on the play, makes it 49-21. So Ohio State finally has to punt, okay? And again, guys, I'm telling you right now in the year, Jesse Mirko is absolutely outstanding. What does he do on the punt? Ohio State picked up a few first downs. That was fine. But Mirko, with another great punt, pins him on the 2-yard line. So, again, now you got the defense. You've got the offense backed up on their own end zone, and they've got to be a little bit conservative. So I thought Ryan Day was going to go for it on 4th down. It was a 4th and 2, 4th and 3, but he's like, you know what? Jesse hasn't punted. Let's pin him back, and that's exactly what he did. He put his trust in a punter to make a play like that instead of popping it in the end zone. No, what's he do? We don't even need to field the punt. He just puts it out on the 2-yard line like it was dropped out of a hot air balloon right down on the 2-yard line. Tremendous job. And Ohio State forces that 3 and out. And so Toledo doesn't have a good punt out of it. And what happens? It doesn't take them long. Ohio State's back in the end zone. 4 plays, 30. They go 39 yards in 1 minute. And Emeka Egbuka gets his second touchdown of the game on another pass from Stroud. So Stroud finishes the game with 5 touchdowns. Tremendous work. He finishes the game 22 of 27 for 367 yards and 5 touchdowns. Absolutely workmanlike effort by him. And again, the offensive line, the receivers, everybody on the same page, exactly what you're looking for from this offense. So what happens? They get Toledo to go punt. Okay, I'm not going to cover it all here, but the defense does a great job on forcing 3 and outs or getting Toledo to keep punting. And Kyle McCord comes in and leads the team on a long drive. And again, another individual I'm ecstatic for, Dallin Hayden. They go 11 plays, 68 yards in 5 minutes. And Dallin Hayden deserved a touchdown. Absolutely. True freshman, came in. He balled out after he got the run that he was getting. He goes in from about 5 yards out, 63-21. And once again, what happens? Ohio State gets another turnover. Nice play, nice sack by pressure by the D-line, by those guys. The backups that were playing, and didn't take long again. Kyle McCord, I tell you what, guys, if something happens down the road, which God willing, we hope it doesn't happen to C.J. Stroud, but Kyle McCord shows, and I don't care who he's throwing it against, he made some big-time throws tonight, especially from one side of the field. When you're talking about going from one hash all the way to the opposite numbers with zip on it, he showed he could throw that ball on a line, just like Stroud does. Stroud has the same accuracy and the same arm strength as well, and he's able to go from one hash to the other hash with zip and on a line. It's not lobbed. It's not looped out there. It's on a line. And he's obviously developed a good relationship with Jaden Ballard. So Jaden Ballard, another kid tonight, gets his first touchdown ever as a Buckeye. And it's 2 plays, 74 yards. McCord with a bootleg action going out to his left, throws a great ball out, maybe a little bit short, but guess what? Jaden Ballard was wide open. He ran a great route. Jaden Ballard was able to make the catch. And what I liked about it, little stiff arm down the sideline, he was able to outrace the defender, stiff arm, and was able to get in the end zone. Great job by him. And again, when these guys, listen, guys, these guys are going out. They're busting their tails too all week in practice. And this is the payoff for them. And this is what you love to see when you get these types of payoffs by these guys that are busting their tails all week in practice. They're not getting any type of notoriety at all. And these guys are going out and getting the payoff. This is like going out working all week and finally getting a paycheck for it. When they get to go out, score touchdowns, and make things happen on offense. So last drive of the game, basically, again, they go 3 plays, 45 yards, but T.C. Caffey, okay, another kid that comes in, somehow, again, working his tail off, guys, working his tail off. He breaks out of the pack, makes 2 great moves down the sideline, and gets in the end zone. And again, can't be more ecstatic for these guys that get a chance to play, okay? So outstanding job across the board offensively tonight. These other guys that came, Evan Brown got a little bit of run. He was able to end the game, get his first play as an Ohio State Bucky and as a true freshman. So looking at some of the stats on the game tonight, again, I already mentioned C.J. Stroud goes 22 of 24 for 367 and 5 touchdowns. Just a tremendous effort by him. Just love him. And if you guys were on the show last week, remember Brandon, my co-host with me last week, had mentioned it. As Ohio State fans, we need to really enjoy the time that we have with C.J. Stroud because he is a special quarterback. He's a special individual, and what he does on the field is absolutely outstanding. The relationship he has with his receivers, the way he gets the ball, throws guys open, because that's what we don't see, okay? You think they're open. No, he actually throws the ball into a spot on the field to get his receivers open. They trust each other. He has trust in them, and it really is special to just watch him work. Some of the rushing numbers tonight, again, the game ended while I was sitting up here, but Dallin Hayden, true freshman, comes in, 17 carries. He goes for 108 yards and gets his first career touchdown. Mayan Williams goes 10 carries for 77 yards. He doesn't get in the end zone, but again, I'm sure he's not worried about that. It's about getting the W. So, again, great job offensively. And, again, the receivers. Guys, again, we are so blessed. We are spoiled fan base, okay? We are a spoiled fan base. When you got guys like this, Emeka Egbuka, 7 receptions for 116 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Ballard, again, true freshman, okay? He's a true freshman. He gets 4 receptions for 113 yards. Now, granted, a lot of it was a big chunk play. He went for 72 yards on a 1 play, but it all counts, okay? It all counts. And then, again, Marvin Harrison Jr. tonight. Whew, man, oh, man, guys. That boy just keeps getting better and better and better, and we are so fortunate to have someone like him. He gets 6 receptions tonight, goes for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games. And, again, we can't ask for more than that. You've got 3 receivers that go over 100 yards receiving. And again, you can't ask for more than that offensively. Ohio State ends up almost close to 800 yards in total offense. And, again, they score on 11 drives. Now, I'm not going to count the last drive of the game, basically. But when it was in doubt, there was 12 drives in the game. Ohio State scored 11 touchdowns on those 12 drives. You want offensive efficiency, it doesn't get any better than that. And listen, people, you can say what you want. It's a MAC team. I get it, okay? They have 85 scholarship players. Ohio State has 85 scholarship players as well. It's not like they're playing with 30 scholarship players. Again, I mentioned it earlier. They're picked to win the MAC. And from what I saw from their quarterback tonight and some of their skill guys, I kind of think they're going to be a MAC champion. I really do. So I'm going to go right now. Before I get into my segment on highs and lows, let's take a look at some of the comments. that everyone has left. So Lynn's breezy. Defense still needs a lot of work, but our offense, I'm so glad they started clicking again. What a show. There's no doubt. I mean, again, I said it earlier. You go 11 of 12 possessions and you score 11 touchdowns. You can't ask for better offensive efficiency than that right there. And it's, again, so happy for Julian Fleming to see him back in the offense. And let's face it, seeing Smith and Jigba in there tonight, it was just killing him that he missed basically most of the Notre Dame game and then all of last week. He wanted to get some run because next week, guys, it's on next week. Remember, Big Ten play starts and it's on. So absolutely, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the defense, Lynn. So thank you for the comment. Yeah, I mean, right here, the defense is still a bit concerning, and I'm going to talk about that in my highs and lows as well. The Toledo quarterback was a little bit of a wizard of sorts, and exactly right. I mean, that's what an athletic quarterback can do for you. So, Hummus, I hope you're still on, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, but thank you very much for the comment there. Yeah, Sonny Styles, he's in the mix. Again, they've got young talent. Sonny Styles is a 5-star kid, okay? And, hey, they're going to get their chance. They have to understand, when you come to a place like Ohio State, you have to bide your time, okay? How many times do freshmen actually get on the field unless you are the upper of ups, okay? That you are at your top 10, the Jack Sawyers, the JT Tuimoloaus, okay? Those guys were in the top 10 players nationally at all positions. Those are the guys that can get on the field as true freshmen right away, okay? So right now, you've got Sonny Styles out there. He'll bide his time. He's going to see some action, and I'm not going to worry about it because Sonny Styles is going to make big plays for Ohio State in the next few years. There's no doubts about it. Right here, OSU Buckeyes 21 points to Toledo is pathetic. Hey guys, listen. I said this last week, 2 previous weeks. In today's day and age of college football, we are in 2022. Okay, it's the super spread. It's spread everybody out, 4 wide outs, sometimes 5 wide outs, 4 wide outs, and a running back. Okay, to score 20 points almost is the norm anymore. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Okay, so yeah, we gave up 21 points, but Ohio State also scored 77 on the game. Okay, so 77 points. You understand that Ohio State had 13 possessions, okay? They scored, not counting the last one, okay, 11 of 12 possessions. You're giving Toledo a lot of possessions then, all right? Remember, they scored one on basically it was a jump ball, okay, that Finn was rolling to his left, threw up a jump ball that their guy made a play, okay, and it happens. So, hey, again, 20 points nowadays in today's day and age in college football is kind of the norm, okay? It really is. So I wouldn't get too upset about it, all right? You're right, man. Austin, Kathy run his complete chef's kiss. You're right about that. Again, I've already mentioned it a few times. These guys bust their tails all week in practice, and there's a kid that he's probably a walk-on, and this kid comes in and goes into a pile, doesn't go down, is able to spin out. But the best part I loved about his run is he made two people miss right on the sideline. He made a great guy miss. He made one guy miss that was at his feet, was able to dodge him, kept going up the sideline, and basically just about stiffed arm somebody else and was able to get in the end zone. So it was absolutely outstanding. And you are right. It was an absolute chef's kiss, no doubt. I don't think JSN was hobbled. I think he's fine. Again, didn't need him tonight, really. It's more or less just letting him get in there, get his timing down under game speed, okay? You guys got to understand something. There's a big difference between playing in practice and game speed, okay? I played both college basketball and college football. I had a tryout in the NFL, okay? It's a enormous difference between practice speed and game speed. So what I think tonight is Jackson wanted to play. And again, Ryan Day said this week, the only way they were going to play is if both players were 100%. If JSN was not 100%, he would not have played tonight. So that was straight from Ryan Day's mouth. So I got to think that JSN was 100%. That's why he played. So more or less, let's get the game timing down with C.J. Stroud because next week the chips get pushed into the center as we start Big Ten play. Hi, Martha. Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. No doubt about it. The offense was exciting. It just building blocks again by the offense. And to put 77 up tonight, obviously, is a joy to watch when you see that much scoring. Yeah, Jeremiah. Yeah, we already talked about it. Looked like Maya Williams going down the sideline. Yep. Caffey, great run. It really did. Good for him, as I've stated. Well, Hummus, guess what? That's the big question right now. You hope it's not serious. That's obviously in my section of highs and lows. That's the number one thing I'm going to be talking about because nobody wants to see one of the best running backs in America limping off the field. Now, you just hope that it wasn't a high ankle sprain. Okay, high ankle sprains will tend to linger, and they are some of the worst to heal. Okay, a high ankle sprain for a running back or a skilled player, i.e., wide receivers, running backs, a quarterback, they could take 6 weeks to 8 weeks to heal. And so that really, really stretches it out. Now, he did have a limp. Hopefully, it was just it looked like on his touchdown run when he was tackled in the end zone, one of the Toledo players may have fell on his lower leg. I'm hoping that's all it was. But with Ohio State, they do not talk about injuries. It's like hockey. They'll just say lower body or whatever it may be. Excuse me. Yeah, Jeremiah, it looked like they were going to put 80 up. But, again, 77, hey, we'll take it. We will take it. Yeah, John, about our DBs. Again, remember, new defensive scheme. It's the third game of the year. There's a lot of learning still going on by guys. If you notice tonight, Josh Proctor didn't play. He's one of the better safeties on the team. He was out of shoulder pads. I don't even think he warmed up. So who knows what happens there. That's something that will need to be asked about. So was he held out for precautionary reasons? We don't know. But that's something definitely to look at during this week. Yeah, Jeremiah, like I already said, fantastic to see Fleming get in the end zone tonight. We won't just need him next week. We're going to need him the rest of the year. It just gives the offense more dynamics when it comes to throwing the football. No doubt about it. Well, Dustin, I am giving analysis as I speak. So, yeah, it is a recap. But as I answer questions, I'll give whatever analysis you'd like me to give. If you have a question, please post it. I'll do my best to answer it. But as we go down and I go through my highs and lows, I'm going to highlight some of that other stuff that we will want to see from Ohio State as the season goes forward. Yeah, I mean, again, you saw some of the stats tonight. Ohio State has the most wide receivers currently in the NFL right now at 7 on NFL rosters. So you could say what you want about some of the other schools, but there's no doubt right now that Ohio State is wide receiver U. And, I mean, you can see it right now in the recruiting. Dylan Raiola, the number one prospect, not in 23, but in 24, the number one overall quarterback prospect, and he's already committed, and he's going out. He's always recruiting for Ohio State. They've got some other guys that I think are going to commit to other 5-star wideouts, and so, hey, it's wide receiver U, and how can you not want to be here when you see 3 guys go over 100 yards? That's what you love to see. The NFL draft is what shows what Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, what those other schools are all about, okay? What it's like to play here. It's going to give you an opportunity to go to the next level. So no doubt about it that we got first-round draft picks everywhere. Now, I don't think there was nothing wrong with JSN tonight, Brian. Like I said, I think he just wanted to get out there, get in live action again instead of just running around in practice. As I stated, game reps and practice reps are totally different, okay? Game speed and practice speed is totally different. So I think JSN just wanted to be out there, get his time in, feel what it's like to get hit by an opponent, and he'll be ready to go next week. Okay, guys, I'm gonna come back to your comments a little bit, but I'm gonna start with some of the highs and the lows. I'm gonna start with the lows on the game, the way I look at it. And again, as I go down through here, if you guys feel that you want to add something, that's great too. But my number one low, obviously, is the Henderson injury. Okay, we'll see what happens here as the next few days progress. We'll know something tonight into tomorrow and see what is going on with him. Obviously, when you see someone limping in his sock out of his shoe to the locker room, it's a little concerning, okay? So I'm not going to lie. It's a little concerning. So we'll see how things go. But hopefully, again, it's just a minor nick, and Henderson can get out there next week when we start Big Ten play. Now, granted, Mayan Williams, again, they complement each other fantastic. You won't see much drop-off from Mayan and Henderson. And then, of course, Dallin Hayden showed he could ball out tonight too. Do any of you have any issues if Dallin Hayden goes into the game next week against Wisconsin? I don't have any. He's a true frosh, but guess what? The kid showed that he can handle a situation, hold on to the football, not fumble it, okay? And I have no issue whatsoever with Dallin Hayden being out there next week in Wisconsin if Henderson can't go. I have no issues there. One of my number 2 lows is the Burke bad luck, Denzel Burke. Again, just bad luck. They throw a jump ball up, and his man just happens to come down with it right in front of him and spin off him into the end zone. And again, to that point, I thought Burke had played a very good game, okay? But then again, a little bit when you're snake bit, those things kind of happen to you. I kind of felt bad for him. But again, hey, you just keep moving on. You got to keep getting better from week to week. One of my third lows, and somebody already mentioned it kind of here in the Brian again had mentioned this. Now, Here's one of my lows, guys. Now, remember, Jim Knowles, new defensive coordinator, okay, has done a fantastic job through 2 games, okay? This was the first time tonight that Ohio State dealt with a very athletic and mobile quarterback, okay? Now, is this something down the road? All right, and this is something that you as fans, I want you to start looking at each game, okay? As I come back and do more broadcasts and more analysis, okay? When Ohio State plays a team with a mobile quarterback, okay, is this what we're going to see? Some issues, some quarterback draws. Guys get out of their lanes when they're rushing upfield. The D-line, do they get out of their lanes? Do the linebackers get out of their gaps, okay? Because that's what exposed Ohio State a little bit tonight, was a mobile quarterback. Now, when you start looking at the schedule from here on out, okay, when I think about mobile quarterbacks and who Ohio State has to play, right there, Brian already mentioned it, J.J. McCarthy up at Michigan, who's now been named the starting quarterback for that team up north, all right? He's a very mobile quarterback. He's a very athletic quarterback. So this is something moving forward on defense that we want to see right now with Ohio State. Are they going to struggle with a mobile quarterback? Because think about it. What did they always say about Alabama defenses, okay? They were fantastic against the run. They could rush the quarterback. They could get after people. They could cause lost yardage. But when they played a mobile quarterback, they always seemed to struggle. Years back, Johnny Manziel hurt him with a mobile quarterback. And then even in the championship game, Deshaun Watson hurt him as a mobile quarterback. They always struggle with a mobile quarterback. So this is something that, as fans, let's see down the road as Ohio State plays each game, okay, are they facing a mobile quarterback, or are they facing more of a guy that's going to stand back there and try to pick them apart? Now, next week, Wisconsin does not have a mobile quarterback. So it'll be a great match to see if Ohio State can now handle the run game. Last year and the last 2 years under Coombs, they were gashed many games in the run game. Now you've got Bucky Badger coming in next week, and we're going to see how well Ohio's defense stands up to the run game, because that's what we're going to see a lot next week. So, Brian, excellent point on that. And moving forward, let's see how Ohio State can handle it. Another low that I talked about is, I want you guys to think about this. You know, we wait 8-9 months, it seems, for college football to finally get here. And 1/3 of the season is already over. Think about that. 1/3 is already over. You're only guaranteed 12 games. And that is always a low of mine, because it seems like we wait so long for the season to get here, and then all of a sudden, boom, before you know it, we're in October, late October, and it's November, and you're like, man, the season's only got 3 weeks left. So that's a low for me right there, to already understand that the season is 1/3 over. So those are my lows tonight, guys. The Henderson injury, the Burke bad luck, okay? It's going to get better with him. And then defense moving forward against a mobile quarterback. Let's see how well Ohio State starts to handle some mobile quarterbacks as they move down through Big Ten play. Now, the highs. I mean, where do you start at with the highs tonight? The offense as a whole. It's already been mentioned ad nauseum tonight. Close to 800 yards in total offense between rushing and receiving. Obviously, number 1 on my list. Number 2 on the list, again, ecstatic for people like Julian Fleming, Jaden Ballard, Dallin Hayden. Fleming scored a touchdown in his career, but he got 2 tonight. Again, snake bitten most of his career. He comes out tonight, makes a tremendous catch in the corner of the end zone, then runs a great little hook route underneath the defense. Stroud puts it right on him, lets him able to walk right into the end zone for his second touchdown. Jaden Ballard goes over 100 yards rushing tonight, true fresh or receiving. Goes over 100 yards receiving tonight, gets his first touchdown as a Buckeye. And then Dallin Hayden also, again, can't be more ecstatic for that, for both of those guys. Guys, hey, again, tonight finally, 2 turnovers. The defense finally forced 2 turnovers tonight. So let's hope this is a sign of better things to keep coming, to force turnovers. We did not force any the first 2 games. We finally got 2 tonight. Definitely a high. Again, another stat that we always look at, I already mentioned, when the game was in doubt, Ohio State had 12 possessions. They scored 11 offensive touchdowns on those 12 possessions. And a big stat we always talk about, at one point, Toledo was 3 of 11 on third down. And again, those are things right there on your defense that we always say, hey, you got to bow up, get off the field on third down. And 3 of 11 tonight on third down, I'll take that every game. Another thing right here, guys, this is another high that has been a problem the last 2 games was penalties. What happened tonight? Ohio State was flagged 1 time for 5 yards. Fantastic, guys. You can't get any better than that right there. No bad penalties, no pass interference, no big penalties, 15-yarders or anything like that, guys. They did a great job across the board with no penalties. And, again, that's a discipline thing too, guys. I mean, it's just straight discipline. Last week against Arkansas State, you're offsides 4 times. You know, come on. Hold your water. Stay on sides, okay? And, again, I already touched on another high, guys, 12 possessions, 11 touchdowns. So, as we close tonight, guys, let's look at next week now. The non-conference schedule is now over. Big Ten play starts next week. Bucky Badger comes to town. They dominated their game tonight against New Mexico State. They put up 66 points tonight. But New Mexico State is a very, very average team. Their loss to Washington State at home is really kind of like a big wart on them. That was a bad loss in my eyes. No way should Washington State come into Wisconsin and walk out of there with a win. We'll really have to see how well their quarterback, Graham Mertz, I think his name is, how well he plays, because they're going to need it next week. Wisconsin always has a great running back. They're going to have 2 guys that can run the football. That's a staple in Wisconsin's offense. They're always going to have strong running backs. They're always going to have a monstrous offensive line. And it's a great test next week for Ohio State. This week you had to deal with a mobile quarterback, and last week you had a spread team. This week is your typical Big Ten 3 yards in a cloud of dust team. All right? They're going to march out a monster offensive line. Let's see how that D-line plays next week. Let's see, can they keep them guys off our linebackers and let Eichenberg, Steele Chambers, Cody Simon, those guys get upfield and make plays, okay? Because that's been the difference right now. That's what you got to watch when you watch these games. Our defensive line has gobbled up offensive linemen, okay, and kept our running backs or our linebackers able to run free to make the plays. Okay, they're not letting them guards get upfield and get on our linebackers. So they've done a great job by gobbling up the offensive line and letting our linebackers run free and make plays. And that's the sign of a good defense right there when you can have that happen. So next week, guys, it'll be a great test. And one other thing we got to talk about too is, in all my years of being an Ohio State fan, and that's about 40 years, okay? I don't remember the last time Ohio State's had 8 home games. If somebody can tell me the last time Ohio State had 8 home games, I'd love to know that. It's normally a 7-game home schedule, okay? This year it's 8. So if it's more set up for Ohio State this year to make a run, you're never going to have a better chance than this year with 8 home games. So Ohio State really has to take advantage of it, not to mention the first 5 on the schedule. They've got Bucky Badger next week, and then they come back with Rutgers the following week before they go on the road at Michigan State. Now, Michigan State, I haven't seen a score, but Washington was taking it to them. That game was being played in Washington. So hey, but when you go on the road in the Big Ten, there are no gimmies. Okay, there are no gimmies. So again, that's another thing to look at. Ohio State's schedule has been very user-friendly to this point, and they need to take advantage of it. Let's take a look here. Yeah, Brian, you're right about that. The Rockets aren't bad. I get it. And you're right about that team up north schedule. There's no doubt about it that they would beat the same three teams that Michigan played. There is no doubt about it. Yeah. Again, Brian posted again here. Yeah, he was on the sideline. He was laughing. Hopefully it's just precaution. Again, we just got to wait and see down the road here. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Yep. Yeah, this is a good point here, Lee. Stroud on the RPO was horrible, almost stumbling and bumbling. Again, Stroud doesn't run a whole lot. He's just not a runner. And Ohio State has not run a lot of zone read stuff with him, okay? Believe me, for a second there, I did hold my breath. He did have a huge defensive lineman come down on him as he was getting tackled. So I did hold my breath for a second there, hoping that he didn't dislocate a shoulder or anything like that. So, he was all right. But again, yeah, it's something he's not real familiar with and accustomed to. The offensive line just does a great job pass blocking for him, and he's just able to make plays back there. So, Brian, thank you very much for that. So he did play 8 games in 2012 then. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And, yep, Jeremiah. Next week, as I said, get your popcorn ready. Hey, it's a 9-game stretch in 10 weeks. We'll have a bye week sandwiched in there. And it all starts next week, Big Ten play. And, hey, again, no slouch. I don't care what the record says. Wisconsin comes in. They always play Ohio State tough, regardless of what happened in the Big Ten championship game the one year that they won the national title, Ohio State did. They played Wisconsin again and went right down to the final. For the most part, it was a 5-point win. So Wisconsin, is going to come in with their lunch pail and their hard hats on. That's how they play. And so, again, enjoy it while it's here, people. Enjoy the season while it's here. As I stated, it's already a quarter over. Enjoy each day as they come. And let's just keep seeing what Ohio State can do. Just keep getting better and better each week. The building blocks. As I said, the season is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Right now, Ohio State has the foundation down as they build their house. And as each week goes, they just build up from that foundation. Okay. Brian, great comment here again, also in 2010. Okay. I appreciate that. So 2 times in basically the last 12 years, Ohio State has had 8 home games. Well, guess what? Right now, it's set up for Ohio State to make a run, not just to the playoffs, but for a national championship. So let's enjoy it, people, while we can. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Remember, please like, share, subscribe my channel when you see it posted. And, it gives me an opportunity to it lets everybody know when I'll be on, the time I'm going to be on. Hopefully down the stretch here. If you guys remember, I had a guest on last week, Brandon Moses. He will be on a few more times this year. We stay in touch during the week if he's able to join me. He has also some great insight as well. And again, join the Discord, talk college football all the time. Sign up at patreon.com. Guys, remember, search Mark Rogers TV. And again, like, share, subscribe. Donations are welcome as well. And guys, have a great week. And as always, go Bucks. And we'll see you next week. It'll be another late night again. It's another night game, unfortunately. The night games are killing me, but I don't mind doing it for you people. I love talking Ohio State football, and so I enjoyed as we are. And so, guys, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week. And go Bucks.